great conversation and a few laughs. And when we're done, be sure and head over to your favorite podcast platform or to my website, laurelrutledge.com, and subscribe to my weekly podcast, the Rutledge Perspective Podcast. Episodes drop every Wednesday, and they are short and sweet, commute-worthy. And I promise you'll get something out of every one that will help you shift your perspective. Because when you shift your perspective, you shift your circumstances. See you soon. Good morning, everybody. I am so excited about this conversation. Look, this is going to be so good because things happen like by accident, right? Well, by accident for us, but by intention for him, right? So y'all are going to meet my friend Kim, my eyebrow artist Kim, the founder with her husband of Jinka, and we're going to talk about building community and building legacy and you're going to hear her passion and her focus for building something bigger than just the thing, right? Building something big for long term. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to read you a little bit about her bio because as always, I'm going to put it in the show notes when we're done. So you will get all of her information. And if you are in Texas or can get to an HEB, you're going to want to check out her stuff too. So hold on, let me pull up her bio here because I do want to read a couple of things because I love the way she started her bio. The way she starts her bio is Kim Edwards Williams, a creator, disruptor, cultural ambassador, Raye Macy's mama, and the partner of a Black man.
It's true.
I'm just saying, right? She did my eyebrows, but she began crafting eyebrows in middle school where she ignited eyebrow conversations, providing solutions for problematic eyebrows. And I had problematic eyebrows. Y'all, those of us who had like those pencil things for a while,
there are things.
We're recovering. So she's the one that's making me look decent. She has been married to her husband, LJ Williams, for 8 years. And they are the co-founders of Jinka Premium LLC, where they are product manufacturers. And this is where we're going to dive deeper. And like I said, I'm going to give y'all so much more information in the bio. You will have her full bio, but I want to spend all this time that we have talking to Kim. Now, we are at the end. We're going to do some shout outs like we always do. And we're going to talk about voting because we always talk about voting. So we're going to talk about voting today too. Okay. But we're going to do that at the end. Kim. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. So I want to start here because I think people need to understand because I had someone on last week too. And I think we sometimes miss, especially as entrepreneurs, that it is not always, it's rarely, let me put it that way. It is rarely a straight line. Rarely a straight line. And so, you started out because from an artist perspective, this whole eyebrow thing, I mean, you started in middle school. So let's start there. Why eyebrows and how'd you start doing those for folks?
Yeah, I've always been super picky about eyebrows. Mm-hmm. It's always been a draw to me. And I remember in middle school, mm-hmm. I became like the morning cosmetologist in the cafeteria. So I was the only one that can French braid. And so I was one of many that were my shade, one of a few that was my shade in the room. And so I turned into a French braider and a bun and I did all the things and I'm helping people with their eyebrows. And it was very natural for me.
Yeah. I just, and it's funny. Well, I met Kim when I first started my business. So I left corporate at the end of 2017, started my business in 2018. And I went to an event that was being held for entrepreneurs. And I happened to meet Kim there. And I was just me, right? I was just sitting at the table, just not really saying much to anybody, just kind of focused because I was just starting this thing. And I remember Kim coming up to me and saying, "I'm Kim." And I was like, "Hi, it's so nice to meet you," right? And we started talking about other stuff. And she's like, "And when's your birthday?" "Oh, you're a Libra." And I was like, "Okay, yes, I am." And we started talking about other stuff. And she said, and I looked at her and I said, "God, your eyebrows are great." And she said, "Well, here's my card. If you ever want your, not pushy, none of that. Cause I don't do hard sell." And I think she knew that. She just had a sense for that. And she's like, "Come, I got you, honey, hooked from day one."
Thank you very much. It's all in the plan.
Right?
It's all in the master plan to get you hooked.
But what was beautiful to me is that in talking to you, yes, that's how we met, right? With eyebrows. And I think Jinka was just kind of in your mind at that point, right? because I remember you saying, hey, we might be looking for people. We're thinking about even using this kitchen to do some things and to do our product. But when I went and sat in your chair to get my eyebrows done, I remember the conversations we have that were so focused on service. You were there to serve me and help me look the best that I could look and be patient with the process. How you focus on that service and you be patient with everybody else who's trying to get there yesterday?
That's a great question. Ooh, I love that. The reality is I mastered my skill. I had been obsessing with eyebrow shapes we talked about since the sixth grade, right?
Yeah.
And so I mastered the skill of eyebrow shaping, natural eyebrow shaping, which isn't that common. It solved the need. A lot of people have eyebrows that they've taken off too much in the middle and the ends, and so it really was I solved the need, and so I became really good at what I did, and so I definitely didn't sell it at all. Because I knew my value, and I put into the universe, honestly, because I was good at eyebrows, but I really like people. I like conversation. I like connecting. I don't use this word anymore, but I think sometimes we call it perfectionist. And so what I realized is I was going to have to create me something, number one, that got me out of corporate America, because I couldn't handle all those rules and regulations. I needed to create me a little bitty zone for just me. And with eyebrows, I was able to do that. And the conversations and the authenticity that people were able to bring in this space that I curated so we could all do that. It worked, and it's been working for 20 years. And so
y'all hear that? 20 years.
I asked the universe to send me people that need hugs. Not even bad eyebrows, because everybody got that. It's the hug. It's the love. And so many people need it. And out of the 20 years of doing eyebrows, my connections with people are different. I care about my clients and their families, and it's a growth thing. And I consciously created that so I could have it.
And it's what's so amazing about that is, and just so you know, Kim does threading, and I think you're the only person I know, the only Black woman I know that does threading.
I'm the only one I know. I think over the 20 years, I've met a few people, a couple in Atlanta, but it's an industry that we're not in. But we created it. And so I teach it, I train it. I'm always open to share that this is a hand skill and the value of having a hand skill. At any moment, I can go out on this curb with a pillow and make some money. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole hand job thing is a whole nother thing for me. So I think I forgot what we were saying.
Well, God, there's so much. But I want to stick with this because I'm going to get y'all to where she is now, for sure. But as you said, it was really about the conversations and the connection. In 20 years, y'all, there's I think 2% of businesses make it, 2 to 4% make it past 15. Make it past 15 years. So she is like in the elite of the elite, having done this for 20 years, and even fewer businesses do that, right? And so, when I think about what you said, you honed your skill, because we sometimes think, oh, I'm pretty good at that, and then we stop learning, we stop participating, we stop trying to continuously get better, right? So she honed her skill. 2, she knew her value. And then 3, she really focused on what she was trying to create. It wasn't about the brows, it was about the connections. And so if you take all of that and think about, how you built your business, because what I told people is we're really going to talk about this whole legacy building, right? And this community building, the conversation you and I had last week. It's bigger than just the eyebrows, right? It's and even Jinka, the product, it's about how do we connect through the entire supply chain and create a legacy. So if you think about that, connections and hand skills, What for you made that so clear that it wasn't the brows, it was bigger than that?
Hmm. Oh, that was way before all of this. That was me as a kid. As a kid, I've always relished in connections. I've always had a sense that I was going to be a part of something bigger.
Yeah.
I really never knew how or what. And I think those bigger things have been happening all my life. But I really just, I wanted to be a part of something bigger.
Yeah.
So I've manifested it. I've asked for God, the universe, to use me, choose me. You know, I'm open.
Yes.
Which is how my eyebrow clients came to me, because I asked whoever needs hugs, come. I just wanted to be open. And so, yeah.
You know, and that's so key, because it's whether you're in a career or you're building a business, that openness to whatever's supposed to be yours, right? So, and especially for those who are building a business, there becomes a level of desperation for that next promotion, desperation for that raise, desperation for that next client. And believe me, I get it. I'm not passing judgment on anybody, because we all got bills to pay, right? People got kids to raise. I mean, there's real practical stuff that can lead to desperation. What do you do to stay focused on, look, I'm here to serve. I know what's meant for me is going to come, and I'm not going to operate in desperation. I'm going to operate in possibility. How do you keep that mindset right?
So for me, I had to create the lifestyle so I could keep the mindset. And so I know, number one, I've been fired from every job I've ever had in the world.
Right.
That's true. They would always end up saying, Kim, you really don't want to be here.
Right.
So I just knew I had to create something. And so I had to create something that offered me freedom. And so I created that thing.
Yes.
Eyebrows gave me that thing. And so freedom is the thing that keeps me clear. It keeps me where I can serve, I can love, I can offer, because I get to be me all day.
Yeah. Well, define that more. What does freedom mean to you?
Oh, freedom is everything. Freedom is the ability to think how I want to think, to make decisions how I want to make them, to care about the things that are passionate to me. Yeah. It's the ability to move in a manner that is without fear. You know, when you're free to love and not have to receive it back.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Because I know who I am.
Yeah.
And when I can share love and not receive it back, I literally give more, whether it's in that moment or later in my meditation, because I know that's not about me. So freedom's everything for me. Yeah.
I'm like, so here's the thing. That's so deep.
It's real for me.
That's so deep, because you have to start with self-love. You have to be really clear on who you are. You have to be crystal clear on who you are and where your value is, not worth, because you are priceless because you exist. Period. Right? So nobody can pay you your worth, but you can deliver value. Absolutely. And the conversations you have about return on that value are different than return on your worth.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think we need to go in offering value.
Yes.
I think too often we come in reaching our hand out, wanting to give me, what can you help me with? Versus, what problems you got? How can we help solve that?
Right.
That's a whole different energy. And I was raised to, I guess I really should say that it's my mom and dad. I was raised community. I was raised wanting to always build something for community. We always understood the value of community.
See, and I think that's where there's so much power in that. Just like they say, don't lend money expecting it back. Give money because you've decided
it's a whole decision.
You're going to do that. And if you get it back, great, but you're not expecting it back. And what I'm hearing from you is it's that same mindset with giving service, giving value, giving love. You give it because you want to, and it gives you freedom. It gives you joy, not because you want something in return.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if I do want something in return, I want good energy to come back my way.
Yes.
So I do want something in return. And today I have a 9-year-old. And so I live in the notion that if I put something out there bad, that bad could come back and hit me and a few people behind me. And that's not an option.
Right.
So I want good coming my way. So I'm going to speak it. I'm going to give it. I'm going to share it. I'm going to celebrate as much as I can. I love it. That's real for me.
I love it. And it's so, there's so much freedom in that.
You're correct. Yes, I do. Yes. All of this definitely comes with the ability to live in freedom.
Because it really there's
which takes away the scarcity.
Yes.
All the other things.
Yes. All of that mindset of scarcity, of I'm not going to have enough. I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. I'm not going to, and all those things are human, right? It's our nervous system responding to try to keep us safe. That's real. That's what therapists are lovely. All of that stuff is real. And mindset is key.
Yes, because there's a very institutionalized mindset.
Yes.
That could make you think you have a limit, a cap.
Yes.
I can't pay my bills because my money's out.
Right.
But I don't ever think my money's out.
Right.
I don't ever think I could not make any more money today. You know what I'm saying? And so my hand skill allows me to even be in that limitless space.
Yes.
So I do think we have to consciously create things that can move us out of that, because we have been unfortunately institutionalized in a lot of our moves and thoughts. And until we're able to manifest something higher, I don't think that's going to shake.
And it's that whole idea, I tell my clients and people I work with all the time, you always have a choice.
Yes.
Corporate America especially will make you think you don't have a choice. You always have a choice. Now, you're not free from the consequences of your choice, but you have a choice. And you don't have to be subject to madness if you choose not to be.
No.
You just make a plan. It's a decision. It is a conscious decision. Now, sometimes, because the trauma is real, y'all, sometimes you don't even realize, it's like that boiled frog. You don't even realize you're being cooked until you about burnt.
And then you get to be like,
what? Wait, I don't understand, right? And then you're shocked. So you got to figure out a way to have better early warning signals, right? So we got the eyebrows. You're making all these amazing connections. You are, sending out this crazy energy into the world. And then Jinka happens. Tell me how that, or tell everybody how that came about.
So I had eyebrows, and then a man came. And then a baby came.
Right.
And then Jinka came. So I had a baby after a long, maybe a 7-year relationship, got out of that. A month later, found the man of my dreams, or my family's dreams, at least. Everyone loves that he's with me.
Right.
Because he is amazing. Let me say that.
Yes.
But he connected with him, and that moved really quickly.
Yeah.
And at 38, pregnant, new baby. And we just really, he's a person who always knew something was bigger for him as well.
Right.
And so we're both right brain entrepreneurs, creative. So we got together going, I actually put together a partnership with us because for us, it was about coming together and about creating something bigger than us that we still didn't know what it was.
I love it.
And so after having the baby, I was after having Raye. A year later, we tried again, and we ended up terminating that pregnancy because we were positive with Down syndrome, which is a whole nother conversation that should be had. Right. Because it's extremely important.
Right.
But after that baby, we were diagnosed with prediabetes, which wasn't an option.
Right.
It just was not an option for our
We're just
life.
not doing that.
We're not going to do that. I'd never been diagnosed with anything. And so that was like, wow. And LJ, my husband, who's a
Mhm.
Scorpio,
Mhm.
extremely controlling and
Right.
want to fix it all. If y'all out there, Scorpios, I appreciate you in my life.
Right.
He decided that he was going to help fix it,
Mhm.
and so we started researching herbs,
Mhm.
and he created a concoction at the time that's a mix of turmeric and cinnamon, ginger, and all these great
Yeah.
things that helps to reduce inflammation.
Yes. Mhm.
And it reversed my prediabetes.
Mm. Mm.
And so during that time, I'm still doing eyebrows, right?
Right.
So I had clients that were sampling the product every day with me.
Right.
And so people were trying it, and it became a thing where we gave it away at Christmas the following, that same little time.
Right.
By January, people are like, well, are we going to get some more?
Right.
Because y'all do too much.
Right.
You know, is this a new thing? What's happening? And we were like, people like this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Start doing some pop-ups. And not only was it helping me, it had a reverse countless number of people, all kinds of scenarios around us. And, you know, we said, this is it.
Yeah.
And so our ancestors were farmers, and
Absolutely.
you know, were our product is reversing health for people, but specifically our community.
Yes, yes. And what I love, I was reading an article, because like I said, Kim's been doing my brows forever. And even like I went 6 or 8 months without seeing her because I couldn't get my brows to grow in. And I remember thinking, I need to keep going, I need to keep going. And every time I go, she's like, okay, we're gonna take a little bit off. She'd be there like 2 minutes. Like, I don't know why you can't, girl. And so I finally I looked like Bert and Ernie, but I finally had more. And she's like, oh, I'm like, I got brows, right? She had something to work with.
The patience game.
Had something to work with. And so when I wanted her to come on the show, I was like, let me go look at some other stuff about Kim. And I was reading about Jinka, and this is what's so important that I think sometimes entrepreneurs forget. I was reading some of the articles and the things that you guys have said, and like, ooh, that first batch.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Oh, yeah.
That was tough.
We had about 6 months of tough batches.
Right?
We played with it.
Yeah. And I think we lose the ability to test things.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
we want it immediately.
No, we played with it. And the great thing is I had a bunch of clients who were guinea pigs that came in, and we were able to play with it. But no, we kept going.
Yeah.
Even though my husband, that Scorpio, is a little sensitive.
Right.
He was like, baby, go back to the lab.
Right. Let's try it again.
But we love those jars. Yeah. They're a part of our journey. Little tag hanging off a little mason jar.
Oh, I love that.
And now it's an HEB. It's crazy. It's crazy. But the cool part about this business, this mission, is that it's literally reversing health for people.
Yes.
And we're watching people. We get daily emails. We're watching people that are getting off 10 and 20 meds.
Yes.
You know, not having to have surgeries. They're climbing again and playing with their grandkids and all this stuff that I really kind of was oblivious to in our community. I didn't really know how sick we were. Yeah. And but people are at $3,000-$4,000 of meds a month. Yes. And they're getting off that stuff. Yes. And so that is what is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
That's great every day.
Yes. And what I love about this is it is a mission-driven business. And it's a business. And I think what we sometimes forget, I know I'm emotional too, because it's making such an impact on people.
I don't think about it. You know, you say some things aloud and
it comes back, right? When you say it out loud. It is mission driven, it's making an impact, and it's a business. And we sometimes this is why I work with founders who move into CEO. Yes, you love it. It is your baby. But if you really want it to continue to make an impact, it's got to be a business.
It's got to be a business.
It's got to be a business. And so how did you move from impact, right? Mission, heart-led, spirit-led, universe-led thing to business? Because we've had the business conversation, and it is clear. Look, when you're talking to Kim about business, it's about business. Not that she doesn't care, because she does. But there's a time to put the heart first, and there's a time when you got to be business. How do you do that?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It really is a lot, and it's a daily learning. You know, it's having a coach. It's being intentional about wanting to be better. I'm an artist all day, every day.
Yes.
I want to sit back, kick it, enjoy, have great conversations, live, love, and make a lot of money.
Right.
So, you know, I have to be intentional about everything I do. And so intentionality is what drives me.
Yeah. And I think we sometimes forget that being business minded doesn't mean you don't care.
No.
Doesn't mean you don't have compassion, doesn't mean you don't love your people, right? But as I tell folks, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is saying, oh, you know, we want our business to be like family. No, you don't. No, you don't. You really do not. Stop saying that. So anybody listening today, no more are you going to say, I want my business to feel like family. You do not want it to feel like family. We've all been to that family dinner. You don't want it to feel like family. It's a business, right? It's a business. You want to be compassionate, right? You've got to be focused on the outcomes. And so, you know, you guys started building it. You started giving it to clients. Now you're in HEB, but that didn't happen overnight.
No, not at all. There's 8 years in the game. We started farmers markets, food markets, pop-ups, vending events, somebody's birthday, anywhere we could pop up and share. We were doing that. We have great friends that own the Breakfast Club Marcus in Melville, and they gave us space to pop up. And so we were there almost every Sunday for several years.
Yes.
And so being at the Breakfast Club, relationships, collaboration, right? We were able to meet people all over the world.
Yes.
And so Jinka left from there and went to every state.
Yes.
You know, every Sunday.
Yes.
And so we literally watched pods of people grow with that. We did a Super Bowl pop-up at Breakfast Club that weekend. Yes. Our product went everywhere instantly. And so, you know, it was a grind. Yeah. And from there, George Floyd died.
Yes.
Right. And so murdered. When he died, he was definitely murdered. Corporations started to look and recognize that they could do more in certain communities per business. Right. And so we got a call from HEB. And so HEB created a program called Be the Change in that moment. And we were selected with maybe about 12, 14 other people to come on that program. Yeah. But prior to that, they had, I think it was 5 Black vendors in the whole company in that moment. Yes. And so it's an honor, you know, to be chosen. And we've learned so much. HEB's been a great partner. We've because we didn't know this. Right. We didn't know retail. Right. We didn't know wholesale. I didn't know all these codes and acronyms. Right. Right. And they weren't there necessarily to mentor us. They didn't. I don't think they thought that. Right. Like, y'all don't know that either. Right. No, I just got off my kitchen. It was just stirring the other day, you know. And so, but partnering with an organization that had a kind of a cohort, you know, space for us, we were able to go in and ask questions. We were able to go in and not have to act like we knew. Right. So that was big for us. Yeah. And that's where we still are. We've been in HEB for 3 years now. And we just recently scaled. We started with about 40 stores. Okay. And this weekend today, we just recently scaled to 175 stores, which is all the living stores. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And but here's one of the things that is so critical about that. What you said was, we didn't know everything, but we were also willing to ask questions. And we forget that we got to ask questions, y'all.
The questions were hard for me a lot because no, questions weren't hard for me because I can ask questions. Right. Everybody don't want to hear your questions. Right. Right. So, yes. I've been out of corporate America for a lot of years, right? Yes. And so I've had to get a coach literally and kind of learn how to navigate that relationship with corporate, because it's not natural for me. Right. It's natural for me to just kind of ask for what I want and not have to ask this piece today, and I gotta wait next week to get asked that, and I'm gonna get that question in 6 months.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Right.
And so I'm learning.
Yes.
And in all of that, those things even make sense.
Right.
And so I'm grateful for the journey of it all.
Yes.
And we have other, we actually are with the military.
Yes.
We'll be going live on their military, on their shopmyexchange.com.
Yes.
Their military website, and several things in the making, but
yes,
it was all perseverance, y'all. And this was not quick.
No.
This was lots of days outside on corners, popping out, hauling tents and ice chests, and my daughter sitting in a corner on an iPad that I didn't want her on. She's hot, ready to go.
Yep.
You know,
attitude,
all of that.
Yes.
But today it looks a lot different.
Yeah.
And we're grateful.
Well, and I think part of that story that is so important is if you're starting from a heart place and a place of service, and you know this is where you're supposed to be, things do open up. But that doesn't mean it's easy. And so all that stuff you see on social media about join my course and I'll tell you how to get 6-figure clients in 2 months. Stop it. Stop it.
Let's go ahead and stop that.
Right. Just stop that. Because here's the thing. Now, you might get 1 or 2 in 6 months, but when you can't serve them, reputations ruin fast, right? Because the speed of the internet can either work for you or work against you.
Because it's quick.
It's quick. And so don't be so quick to turn. And I'm not only speaking to y'all, I'm speaking to me too, right? Don't be so quick to immediately put a pin in something because it just didn't work the first time.
No. Let's keep going. Let's persevere. And when you're on the right path, this has been a lot of work, but the reality is it's been so many organic open doors.
Yes.
Every day we know our ancestors are on this movement.
Yes.
We have doors open and opportunities and things that come our way that we're just like, huh?
Right?
How did you call me? What are we talking about right now?
Yes.
And so when you're in alignment and you're in your purpose, it's gonna come.
Yes, it is.
You know, it's really not any sales. It's not any work. It's different.
Yes.
It really is different. And so I believe in manifesting. I believe in manifestation. I believe in giving out good, but I also believe in doing your 100%. And if you're not doing 100%, recognize that.
Yes.
And if you're doing 60, recognize that.
Yes. What I saw a meme a friend of mine posted the other day that said, don't be mad at the results you didn't get for the work you didn't do.
You didn't even do that part.
And I was like, ooh.
You're looking for 100 for doing 60.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
Got to turn that mirror around, y'all. Did you really do 100%?
Did I do 100? And if I didn't, I can't complain at 100.
I can't complain at 100.
Oh, because I'm out here complaining at 100. But
and I put in 30.
You put in 30. Hold on.
Right.
Let's back that
the
down.
math in math
is not math. And I think that is accountability.
Yes.
That's having people around you that love you.
Yes.
And, you know, creating partnerships and collaborations where someone can say, hey, slow down.
Let me pull your coattails.
Let's do something. Let's look at this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's so important for us to understand that it's not all about speed. And you've got to have a really great combination of wide and deep, right? So you've got to really, as Kim said, right? You need to know your craft. Like she knows her craft. And no matter what happens with Jinka, although we know that it's going to keep going, but she's got something else that one, either she can use it if she needs it, or two, it continues to fulfill a creative space.
Absolutely. And with Jinka, we know our product.
Exactly.
So we have literally mastered our product where we know it's helping. We know the results of it.
Yes.
We know what it's reversed, what it's helping, what it's, and so that isn't an issue with us.
Yes.
So when we share it or give it away, we're just like, enjoy.
Because we know what it can do.
We know what it's gonna do if you take it.
Yes.
And so that there's another level of freedom and confidence that you erase fear.
Yes.
you know your item.
Yes.
A lot of us may be pushing things that we don't really know or we don't like.
And that's the challenge that you see, especially even if you're in corporate and you're in your career and you're moving up. Be careful. One, be careful who you hitch your wagon to. That's number one.
Or get hitched.
Because
they locking on right now.
Because they are trying to attach to you, right? So be careful about that. But the other thing is, don't start to breathe your own exhaust. This is what happens in professional services firms a lot, right? Because if all you've got to sell is what's in your head, and you're out there all the time trying to sell what's in your head, that gets to be an ego push. So you got to have big ego, because when people say no, they're saying no to you, right? They're not saying no to your service. They're saying no to you. So that's an ego thing. And so what happens is people start believing their own hype.
Don't want to do that.
So don't do that. Because when you believe your own hype, you stop learning. You stop putting in the effort to get deep and wide, right?
And you can have confidence and manifest
Absolutely.
without ego.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
those are two different things.
They're two different things.
They're two different things.
And ego is going to keep you away from all of that.
Yes. Yes. Ego puts up blocks, right? Confidence open doors. Because confidence enables you to say, you know what, I don't know. But I'll find out.
I know. Ego thinks I know, I'm good. How dare you? What are we doing here?
You can't tell me nothing.
You can't. It's too much.
It's too much. It's too much. We're going to do some shout outs here in a minute, but I want to talk about, as you look at Jinka and you're in HEB and now you're on the store for the military as well. Mm-hmm. But you and I were having a conversation last Friday about it's even bigger than that. Right? Talking about vertical. Now, you're talking to somebody who was in corporate, right? And she's like, I got fired from every job I was in. I had to come out of corporate. I had a corporate for various reasons as well. But there's some stuff you learn, like vertical integration, right? I have everything from the farm to the distribution. And so you and I were talking about, as we build legacy, yes, it's about, having money and being able to give our kids trust funds and stuff as well. But legacy is also about the impact of the community. So talk a little bit about how now your vision of Jinka is beyond Jinka. It is about community building.
Absolutely. Well, number one, my number keeps going up. It literally started at 20. Now it's at like 2,000. But our goal is to make 2,000 more families that look exactly like ours.
See?
And that's through product development, through manufacturing. Because we know, once again, we've created almost everything that's in the grocery store.
Right.
At some point. And so it's connecting with families that, y'all have, what aunt has the best key lime pie.
Yes.
You know who makes the dressing. You know who makes the gravy. We're not eating this auntie's gravy. We want this one.
Not her potato salad.
Not that potato salad. This right? one. But y'all know they sell potato salad in the grocery store, right? Yeah. Y'all know that you have
to take home and doctor up.
Y'all know they've been buying Hungry Jack.
Yes.
Frozen dinners and Marie calendars for years, right?
Yes.
These are all machines that can do that.
Yes.
And so we've gotten in the room and I did tell the people in the room that if you want my cousins in the room, don't let me come in the room.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's about building legacy.
It's true. And so, the goal now is to literally share with families how to do this with things that you already do, live, love, and eat.
Yes.
And you may already be selling it. You may already have your little Saturday crew that come through. Right. It's those things that we've worked hard and made collaborations where we can make that manufacturing piece that's overwhelming much easier.
Yes.
Much easier with the whole consulting firm behind that product. And so that's our goal, is to bring to light all these amazing products that are in all of our refrigerators and little mason jars.
Right.
That you done whipped up, waiting over in the corner.
Yes.
That's frozen in the Ziploc bag, the broth from 2 gumbos ago.
Yes, the rolls from 3 years ago because grandma made them. Yes.
And we have that.
Yes. What? Yes, I know.
Y'all.
Yes.
Those are products waiting on SKUs and UPC.
Yes.
And so it's a lot of education in that. But we're creating space to do that,
Yes.
and we know we can be. That's why my
Yes.
number started at 20 families. Oh, we gonna help 20 families.
Right.
I'm like, I do 2,000 if I
Yes.
do that.
Yes.
And so I'm good with keeping goals, but that number may be 2 million.
Yes.
I'm okay with that too.
Yes.
Because I know what's out here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just urge people to think about the things that you create. And it's not just food, it's products in general.
Yes. Right.
What's the number one store in the world right now that we all shop at?
Right.
Amazon.com.
Yes. Yes.
It's product.
It's all product.
And it's most of the products that they don't even make.
Yes. Yet.
Right?
Because they are, and this is the thing that people don't pay attention
it's
to.
Coming.
It's coming because they're already doing it. That's why small businesses.
Lots of private labeling is happening.
Yes, it's happening.
If the products is the thing, let's try to get in it. So it doesn't have to be a food product.
Right.
It could be a gadget or a thing. We're inventors. We're creators.
Right.
Solve some problems.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And let's figure it out.
Right. And you don't have to. Here's the thing I want you guys to think about. You don't have to come off of Etsy, right? Because there are a lot of people who are like, oh, but it's, it's small, it's artisan. You don't have to come off Etsy. But think about what Kim said earlier, right? She's got this creative gene. She's got these connections that she makes through doing eyebrows. That's something that still feeds her. And then she got this big business. Keep your Etsy that feeds you, and then build your big business.
And I agree 100%, but I also think that Etsy is only little Etsy because you haven't had the other conversation where you can see it could be big Etsy.
I agree. And there's some people on Etsy who want to be big Etsy.
Absolutely.
And my girlfriend actually is the CHRO at Etsy, and I know she's stirring up stuff already.
Stirred up.
Because it's such a great opportunity for people who, like you, were drawn to something.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, Etsy is the best platform to find people that want to move into the next level.
Yes.
Because there's levels to the thing.
Absolutely.
And every level is different for every family. And so big box isn't always necessary.
Right.
Especially, a lot of people have dreams of being in Target or being in this or being in HEB, whatever it is. Y'all, today, our website make it sell more than HEB.
Right.
Your website make it sell more than Target. Right. And so today people will go to ilovejinka.com and order my little product and don't have to find it at Target. We'll go to all our little bitty websites now. Right. If that's the thing I want.
Absolutely.
And so big box doesn't have to be your thing for your level of success.
It doesn't.
And so I want, and we have not created space to really receive people for this yet, but if you have questions, you're
gonna get her information, y'all.
Get my information. Let me know if I can direct you in any way. I will. If I can't, I'll tell you that as well. But we want to help create some dreams like ours is being created.
Well, and I think it's important from what you said, and then we're going to do the shout outs. Thank you, Jerry. Is that when you're creating a business and you're having these conversations, you've got to be prepared to have a conversation, because big box may not be for everyone just because they don't want to necessarily be that big. But you also got to be prepared for what big box does in terms of contracts, legality. There's a whole different world. If you say your target is Target, how do you protect your brand and your work going into Target? Because see, Target's going to make sure they get theirs. How do you make sure you protect yours? So don't limit your possibilities. Just open your eyes.
Absolutely open them. Keep them open, and tell people you have them open, and to show you stuff.
Show me.
Ask the questions. Show me. Tell them I don't know that.
Right. I want to see the proof. Right. Trust but verify. All right. Let's do some quick shout outs, y'all.
Okay. We got Argentina in the house, Australia, United Kingdom, Iran, France, Mexico, Germany, Brazil, Finland, Rio de Janeiro is in the house. Sydney is in the house. Hamburg is in the house. Helsinki, Frankfurt is in the house. Tampa, St. Pete, Florida is in the house. Jacksonville, New York, Raleigh, Philadelphia, Chicago, Omaha, Kansas City, Washington, D.C., and Houston.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Helsinki. I'm coming. Look, we already put some stuff on the calendar, so I'm letting you know. Helsinki, and then maybe even Dubai. So y'all gonna see us doing some pop-ups.
Y'all around here all over the place.
We are all over
I
the place.
love it.
And I am so grateful that y'all show up as always. I know people say, why do you always say that? Why do you always? Because I am truly grateful that you guys choose to show up and listen to my show. You have choices.
It matters.
And I am truly, truly, truly thankful that you do that, because I love this and I love sharing this time with you guys and bringing great people for you guys to learn from. And I couldn't do it if you weren't here too. So I just thank you again. Thank you again. So one, while we're taking a pause, tell people how they can find Jinka. And then I got some more questions.
Yes, Jinka. ilovejinka.com. ilovejinka.com. And we're everywhere on social media with those same handles.
Yes. And go check it out. Here's how I knew. I haven't even told Kim this. Here's how I knew that Jinka was now leading, and that the heart piece was eyebrows, because the websites look different. Because I'm looking at the eyebrow website, and it's still got the course. It's got all the things that you can get to Kim, but you can see that the one that's leading is Jinka. That's building legacy is Jinka. It's like the eyebrow one is the connector. It's the heart. It
really is.
You know, it's really the same person, different brands, and that's okay too.
I love it. I mean, the legacy piece for me is really everything. Y'all know Heinz is the last name, right?
Yes.
Kellogg's is the last name.
Exactly.
You know, those are 50, 60, 100-year businesses.
Yes.
And so we know this is possible.
Yes.
And so we're consciously creating a legacy business. And that is exciting.
Yeah. And I want to talk about that as we get towards the end here, because you know, I mentioned to you guys, we're going to talk about building legacy and building community. And we heard Kim say, you know, we're trying to help. Right now, the number is 2,000 families, but it could be 2 million, right? We're talking about bringing everybody in who is looking to take what they know and do what they do in a way that can build not only wealth and freedom for their families, but can also build freedom for others. So talk a little bit about, in your mind, what does legacy mean for you and LJ? What is this thing that you're building and the legacy that you're trying to leave? What does that mean? And what does it look like?
Level up. In short, you know, we're trying to level up people, our families, as much as we can. You know, from one, you know, I have a 9-year-old, and I'm the mom that I've said that my daughter probably will never see a cubicle.
Yeah.
Okay. She probably will never see a cubicle. Her work will probably always look different.
Yeah.
I think she'll work, you know, 40, 80 hours a week with Jinka or whatever she does, but it will look different.
Yes.
And it will involve a lot of giving, a lot of loving, a lot of traveling to go see some things. Our generations need to go see. Like
directly,
her job will be to go stamp her passport and see some things, learn some things, take some cousins, move around. I think we have a generation that deserves that to bring it back so we can create.
Right.
And so legacy for us looks like opportunities to travel, to see things, to see, you know, for as many people as we can. And we know building this business, we believe in collaboration. If we can make some money and you can make some money,
right?
Then make some money together.
Yes.
Then we can go buy some things and some people and some,
Yeah.
And
it just spreads.
It spreads. I am a Dr. Claude Anderson fan, and I believe in Powernomics. And so that's legacy for us, something that can hold, that withstand. I'm building for my great grandkids.
Yes.
Like I know that we can hold out that far with our conversations, right? And if my little trickery works and the universe helps me,
right?
My daughter may marry your nephew, and now we another 50 years in the game.
Right.
And so I'm there with it.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
we're bringing families that literally want to build.
Yes.
Because we're in our culture, our people, we're in a space where it has to happen.
Right. Right.
And I, with a 9-year-old, I want to do everything I can do before I leave to set that up in motion as much as I can.
Right.
And so all that matters to me.
Yes. Because we've been convinced through institutional setups, right, that the only way to survive is to work for somebody else. Now we have quite a few still entrepreneurs and really crafty, exceptional people. Don't let folks convince you that there aren't creative and inventive and innovative Black folks, because that's just a lie.
That's us.
That's just a lie. That's us, right? That's just a lie. We do exist.
Go back, learn that value piece, and you'll see we are the magic.
Right? And if you think about what happens and the trauma that generations carry, and you look back to, a Black Wall Street, right? You look back to all of the massacres that happened. Those didn't happen just to people who you would be led to believe were just in the field. No. Those were people who had banks and schools, money and real estate. We had to create our own communities that were thriving because we didn't have a choice. And then when those were taken away through violence, right? There are things that happen, and there's science behind that now, that true DNA trauma that happens, that then you get into a habit of protectionism, right? Because you saw what happened to your folks, so you don't want that to happen to you, and you definitely don't want that to happen to your kids, and you kind of get into this subconscious habit of doing what's safe.
It's a space,
right? And so now, because entrepreneurism and being an entrepreneur is not safe, it is by definition risky. By definition. Right? It doesn't have to be risk that risks life and limb.
No.
But it is risky.
It absolutely is life and limb. And I don't think it has to be, but I think that even though I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years, I believe that if you've been in corporate for 20 years, right? What you've done is you've learned.
Yes.
You went, got the information.
Yes.
You got the data and you got the good credit.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Come on out.
Yes.
Find you a right-brainer.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And collaborate.
Yes.
That right-brainer is probably missing everything you have.
Yes.
Everything you went and learned for 20 years.
Yes. Yes.
It's a collaboration.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the left brainers who don't have the idea.
Right.
Need the idea, because guess what? I got all of them.
Right.
I've got all of them, and they're all $1 million projects.
Yes, there you go.
So we're not lacking ideas.
Right.
But bring your skill. You can stay in your lane, even if you wanted to create you an entrepreneurship opportunity.
Yes.
So I like to highlight that. Most entrepreneurs are probably missing your spot.
And that's where I think I'm doing a bunch of stuff with Rachel Rogers now. She talks a lot about the book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, which talks about your zone of genius, your zone of excellence, those kind of things, and making sure that you are operating in your zone of genius. And the reality is, none of us has everything.
I definitely don't think so.
Right. And so I think the key to what you just heard Kim say is, one, all skills are transferable. So don't let any HR person tell you that it's not. So you can be an accountant anywhere. You can be a marketer anywhere. All those skills are transferable. Might there be nuances to an industry that are different? Yes. But if you've been an accountant somewhere, you can learn the nuances.
And today you can get that same video on YouTube. Okay, go ahead.
Right. You can learn it.
Okay,
you can
learn that.
Right.
There's a class for that.
There's a class for that. There's probably some influencer that's telling you how to do it. Right.
Yes.
So your skills are transferable.
Yes.
So if corporate is your thing and that's where you want to be, cool, do that and make change while you're there. Because see, they need change too. Make an impact while you're there. But don't feel like you don't have a choice. If you're ready to come out, find that person, be willing to collaborate. Don't feel like you have to do everything on your own. There's a fine balance between being about it instead of talking about it. You don't need to tell everybody everything you're doing, but there's a fine line between that quiet and that willingness to go out and talk to somebody so you can collaborate.
Listen, I'm speaking for all entrepreneurs right here, homegirls, people with ideas
Right.
that need help. Okay. More than likely, we need your skills.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
want it. And so ask your girlfriends.
Yes.
If you're in accounting, if you're in HR and you're in a corporate facility right now, and you have some girlfriends that have small businesses, ask them, do they need some HR help? And watch them go, oh my God.
Right?
Yes, please. Do you need some finance? I can do some spreadsheet.
Right.
Please.
Yes. Yes.
You know, there is a whole opportunity there. And I think it's to our detriment if we do not exercise that and leverage that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about collaboration. It's about seeing opportunity. It's about seeing possibility. Somebody commented, I'm going to operate in possibility. LinkedIn user. We're going to operate in possibility and building community and legacy, right? And it really is about seeing beyond what we've been trained to see. Seeing beyond what we've been trained to see, because we've been trained to see what the career ladder is, what the career path is. And it really is. I heard a woman at Marathon Oil say this like 6 or 7 years ago. It's really about career flow. It's about flow, y'all. Surrender to the flow. Be honest about who you are and where you are. Be mindful of that. Listen to whatever your inner voice is, right? Whatever your spiritual guide is, listen to that and stand in confidence and possibility and not in fear. It's not going to be easy. Nobody said it would be easy, but hell, being here every day ain't easy. So why not take the opportunity to do something that's really going to get you on fire and can fulfill a purpose?
And parents, be very careful that you don't accidentally institutionalize your kid.
Right.
You know, it's a whole nother world out here. And so if you have anybody 12 and under, because that's my world right now, and you're creating a life that's going to send them to a cubicle, may not work, sis.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that cubicle may not be there.
It may not be there, or this human, the way their brain works, that's not a cubicle mindset.
Right. Know who you're working with.
It's not. And so parents, be very careful. You said we've been in career training.
Yes.
And it's funny because I always knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. And so if you are that person, figure that out.
Yes.
You are the one that can get out immediately.
Absolutely.
Talk to somebody. It's options.
Yes. Because it's really, and I think to your point about, you know, what we do and what we say and what we do from a legacy perspective, remember that there are good intentions with bad impact, right? So there were generations that said, I want my kids to do better than me. I want my kids to do better than me. I want my kids to do better than me. But what that translated into is, I don't want my kids working in manufacturing. I don't want my kids doing blue collar work. I don't want my kids out in the sun, right? That meant better. Well, that's great, except then a generation later, you can't find people who can be an electrician or want to be an electrician or a plumber or work in a manufacturing site, because that was not considered good work. So now the pendulum is swinging again to say, no, wait, because my whole career was in manufacturing. There were folks working on the manufacturing floor making more money than I was, clearly supporting their families, had a great work because they loved what they were doing, right? Be mindful, as Kim said, of the conversations that you're having, and that you may have the best of intentions, but how do you look further down the road of the impact of the conversation that you're having on the person with whom you're having the conversation?
It matters.
Because it matters. It matters. Well, y'all, we are at time. God, we could talk another 4 days. Thank you for tuning in. Kim, I just can't even. Thank you so much for being here. This was so amazing. So amazing. Thank y'all for tuning in. Now, next week is the 4th, so we will not be on the air on the 4th. But then on the 11th, I will be back, but I'll be doing a pop-up. I'll let y'all know where soon. So go tune in. I'm going to go back to all of the lives, and I'll put Kim's information in there. ilovejinka.com, and she's I Love Jinka everywhere. So go check out her stuff. Go connect with her. Follow them on IG. Look where they're going to be. Go to HEB if you got an HEB and pick up the stuff. Thank you for tuning in, and we are going to catch you guys next week. Take care. Bye.